So would you just introduce yourself to us?
Yes, my name is Dottie Escabedo-Frank. I am your new pastor. I've been a pastor since the late 70s, and before that, I was a social worker for 15 years. And I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you at Paradise Valley. Yeah, I was 8 years old when I felt called into the ministry. And I'm going to actually tell that story on Sunday. So I hope you come and hear a piece of my call story, the beginning part of my call story. And so I had a call when I was 8, and what I call a recall when I was in my 30s. So I like the joy that comes in walking alongside people in the high and low times of their lives. I like connecting people to God in those moments, and kind of moving us away from the place where we try to solve everything and just kind of go to the place of faith and asking God to intervene and help us. And I also like those times of praise, and especially in worship, where something greater than us shows up. And I love all that. Wow. So I requested to leave a beautiful, wonderful church at Catalina. Was just such a great fit for me because I needed to be with my family. My husband and I have been separated, living in two towns, not separated, but living in two towns for 7 years. And so I say we've been half married for 7 years. And I'm looking forward to being in this community and being with my family, not having to drive to see my family. I'm looking forward to learning about this church. I'm looking forward to the people that are here. Every time you walk into church, there's a history that goes before you. So I want to learn the history so that I can cherish it and then help us move to the next step in our ministry here. Yes, I love to read, which is really a boring hobby. I used to be a runner and occasionally still dream of doing that, but now I'm a walker. I love horses and most animals. I like to study and visit places that are caring for the earth. And I also love visiting vineyards and wineries, and have actually done a lot of just checking out that arena as maybe a retirement plan for myself. So I think it's important for people to know that I grew up in Arizona. I grew up on the border of Mexico, Nogales. I grew up as an international person. So when you live on the border, that border when I was growing up was porous. And so we had friends on both sides of the border, would go to eat dinner on both sides of the border. So our community was an international community, which is different than being from another country and learning a new country. It's like having two countries. And that's the space I dwell in, is like 1 foot in two worlds. So even though I'm in Phoenix now, far away from the border town, that part of me still resides inside me.
How is this sort of almost dual nationalism, maybe not quite the right word, but that experience, how has that informed like who you are as a person?
Oh, it's informed me greatly. I didn't really understand how different it was until I moved away when I went to college, and I moved to the Midwest, and suddenly I was so different from everyone else. But I learned through some of my studies, like in my social work program, my master's program, I learned that people who are bicultural or binational, they just see the world in a broader scope. So when you grow up in one town one way, it's hard to broaden your horizons until you're forced to. Well, I grew up in a context where broadened horizons were the thing, and then I had to learn other horizons as I grew older. But so I think in some ways it's made me a little more open-minded, which is maybe not the right phrase, but a little more questioning and willing to see things that I haven't seen before. Yes, I want to thank you for welcoming me as a church and for receiving me. And I am excited to be here and excited to get to know you. And I'm just ready for us to let's just go do this thing.